So today we're gathered around the table with all of our exceptional panelists, a lot of diversity from all different areas of the college, to start this conversation about inclusive excellence. So during this time of COVID and quarantine, and over the past few months since the death of George Floyd, we've seen this outcry for justice and to reimagine our country and to look at where we came from and how we got here. And one of the analogies that I've heard is that it was like baking a cake. And if we baked a cake and racism was one of the original ingredients, it's all in there now and we can't parse it out afterwards. So we have to bake a new cake. So if we think about FSCJ as being a place where we can start baking this new cake, what are some of the ways that we can be thought leaders in our community on really moving diversity forward? So going from talk to action and really creating this inclusive excellence. Why don't we start with Heather?
Good morning, everyone. As I think of what inclusion looks like for the students and really thinking of through as far as what is an intentional and active environment to learn in, we really look to have excellence in everything that we do in student services, specifically, embedding all those aspects of the student life as they come in and meet with an academic advisor or they see us, finding advisor, and really working to connect those individuals to increase their awareness. And we have students every day when we were on campus. Before we had students every day in our lives that we might have an immigrant family that is sitting next to a mom that's coming back with her 3 children next to a dual enrollment student. And so just the inclusion within our offices on any given day, but then to be able to interact with an advisor that's going to give that awesome experience and tell them how to get to the next level is even more important. So being able to show that inclusivity in our offices, now that we're online, we still see those same students. We're just seeing them in their homes, right? We're talking to them, talking with our students. So I think that every day is an interaction that should be an open conversation in that safe environment for the student.
That's so true, Heather. And Chris, what's your vision of inclusive excellence at FSCJ?
So for me, being a member of the faculty, it looks like faculty and staff who have these great ideas on how to serve the students that we work with every day, as well as prospective students who are looking to join us. We act with these students every day, and we have these ideas on how to serve them. So we need administrators who provide the resources to bring those ideas to life. We all work together to make this idea come to life because no one single person could make it happen on our own. So here at FSCJ, I feel like we have significant resources, and that was one of the things that really attracted me to the college when I came to interview here. But it's all up to us to put those resources to the best use possible. We can't just sit on our laurels and say, well, this is the way that we've always done things, and we don't really want to change because we put so much time into getting it this way. We can't do that. We have to be open to the new ideas that will address our current situation, our current reality, so that we'll be able to prepare our students for the future.
Thank you so much, Chris. And I love that you talked about collaboration and creativity, because that's going to come back up later as one of the hallmarks of innovation. So awesome, Chris. Great job. Lisa, what would inclusive excellence look like to you?
Good morning. Inclusive excellence to me says that we're continually striving to ensure that FSCJ is an open space, a safe space, a place where people feel respected, and a place where people feel supported. And that's whether you're students, faculty, staff, or even the community when they interact with us. I think it also means that we intentionally value ideas at the table, all ideas, all perspectives. And we can agree to disagree. We can agree that that's not going to work for us right now. But if I feel like I can come to the table and share my perspective, wherever that comes from, whether it's from, as I was listening to Heather, I'm a mom going back to work and going back to school, or I'm a first generation student from an immigrant family, or I have been displaced, unfortunately, by COVID, and this is my second or third career. But I feel like I can be heard. I feel like I can be supported. And again, for me, inclusive excellence will ultimately become our norm. We work really hard here. We support and value each other, but we continually need to strive to do that. And so we're not having to think, do I have all ideas and perspectives at the table? It is just the way of work. It is just what we do at FSCJ, and it is just how we treat each other at FSCJ.
I love that. And I love the idea that you can bring your authentic self, also a key for innovation. And I love the idea that eventually it just disappears and we're all diverse and we don't even have to think about it. But to get to that point, we may have to do a little bit of work. So the inventions that came from the 1918 flu and many social movements started in colleges and universities. So we're uniquely positioned for new ideas and being innovative. So thinking about us at FSCJ, how can we really put things in process to move from talk to action? And not only here at FSCJ, but how can we create inclusive excellence across our city? So why don't we start with you, Monica?
Thank you for that question. So when I'm thinking about diversity and how we can improve and increase diversity at FSCJ, I think first we need to determine if the diversity that we currently have, does that truly mirror the diversity of the population and the community that we serve? That type of diversity should be existent. It should be present throughout our organization in all areas. So from leadership to entry-level employees. We all know that diversity, it's not just about race, but diversity, it really includes all of our individual uniquenesses. It includes our mental and our physical abilities. It includes our intellectual and our ideological diversity. So it includes many, many things. Oftentimes, organizations, they participate in targeted recruitment, or they recruit outside of the geographic area that they're located in, really in an effort to increase diversity. I think that diversity should really be self-sustaining. And if it's not self-sustaining, why isn't it self-sustaining? And we have to really look at the climate and the culture of the organization. So if the climate truly is inclusive, if it's really inclusive, then minorities will more likely, they will be more engaged and they will be more productive and they will more likely have a great sense of job satisfaction. So everyone deserves an opportunity to have equal access to career paths. And within these career paths, individuals should have the tools and resources, they should have the support, and they should have the opportunities to travel these various career paths. So at FSCJ, we have many mentors and many organizations utilize the mentoring model. And unfortunately, many times the mentees are a younger version of the mentor. So I submit that the majority of the mentors should select mentees who don't look, act, think like they do. So, diversity really is including ideas and thoughts from individuals who see the world differently than we see the world. So when it comes to diversity, I think that FSCJ really does need to assess and acknowledge where we currently are. We need to plan, we need to implement, and we need to continuously evaluate where we are. So for our FSCJ reality and for the model for the city and beyond, it should be that our diversity really mirrors the population that we serve and that our diversity is self-sustaining. And it's self-sustaining because of the inclusive climate that we have here at FSCJ.
Monica, I love that so much. And I feel like an example of moving in that direction was the appointment of Lisa Moore as Chief Diversity Officer over the summer. Woo woo. So, Lisa, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what Monica is saying, because they definitely build on each other.
Absolutely. And Monica was very eloquent in what she shared. And just to echo, we have resources that the college community as well as the outside community can access. We have the College Equity Report. We have the Student Success Report. We have a college fact book that gives data on our demographics as well as demographics of our service area. And those are very important. And to Monica's point, we have to understand, are we mirroring that? And that goes back to also all of our discussions around inclusion. If inclusion is my way of work, then I am seeking diversity, because not just for the exterior, as Monica so eloquently pointed out, I want the difference of ideas. That's what makes us stronger. I also want to add, when we're thinking about diversity, so there's the demographic piece, but diversity is important in that it expands our problem solving. It expands our responses. It encourages our creativity. It encourages, as Monica said, our retention and recruitment, not only at a student level, but also at a staff level. If I see myself reflected somewhere, I feel included, I feel valued, and I want to be a part of that. We have a great start here at FSCJ. We have a lot of diversity in many forms. We need to build upon that, and we can build upon that, and that obviously is one of my goals, is working with the college to look at how we build that. I want to add a quote. I am a Maya Angelou fan, and she has a quote that I have written in many places, many times. And she says, we all should know that diversity makes for a rich tapestry. And we understand that all the threads are equal in value, no matter the color. We're all important. All of our experiences are important. All of our perspectives are important. Everything we can bring to the table just makes FSCJ a better, stronger place.
Yeah, we talk a lot about what the inclusivity, but also looking at how we take and be a thought leader to take it into action, right? And so when I always think about how do we take these thoughts and feelings and things that we've been talking around the table and listening to our students, how do we bring that to an actionable piece that we can actually implement in our policies, whether that's in our procedures, to really help our students. And so over the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to really work on a great program that took those ideas of how do we get students right from the beginning to be successful, to own and learn from different students in the classroom and from their college community and build that bridge. And we really developed a first-year experience program that looks at new curriculum that embeds diversity into the curriculum. Students have to partake and participate as much as we can. We want them to do that inside the classroom and outside the classroom, whether that's with student life and leadership, that's with diversity and social change. And we really want students to build that seamless piece between the classroom and the community, and then taking it back home and bringing it back to their community. And I think it's been a great collaboration between academic affairs and student affairs to really bring this together. And hope in that upcoming year, when every student is taking it and needs a arts degree, we're going to to see how that really changes our community and only makes it better. So I'm really excited to see that.
I love that so much. And I love how you took a legislative action that made us teach this course to everybody and put diversity at the forefront in it. That's amazing. So something to remember, and we talked about this, is that innovation blooms under three conditions. The first is collaboration of researchers across institutes and nations, and we're starting a global scholar program. The second is the development of tools that become the key to answer other questions. So kind of like Chris created this opportunity, now it's becoming a key to work in other situations. And then the last one is bringing these varying points of view to the table. And letting them be creative and come up with great ideas. And so if you bring those three things together, we can really have some innovation. So what new amazing concepts can we at FSCJ develop through inclusive excellence? So we got the conversation started today, and we look forward to having you and your ideas at the table.